Nick, can you guarantee me infinite wealth, a job for life, and these good looks will never fade? Can you guarantee me that, please?
I wish I could, Glenn. I wish I bloody could.
Welcome to The Fix. Sit down with copywriting experts Nick O'Connor and Glenn Fisher as they review, discuss, and improve real-world copy sent in by you. This is The Fix.
The reason you're asking me this is that somebody wrote into The Fix earlier this week, and it was actually a question about one of the projects that we're working on at the moment, which is our boot camp, which is this March, Financial Copywriting Boot Camp. You need to let us know by the end of this week if you're interested in coming, by the way. But this individual had, heard about the boot camp and said, I'm interested in coming, but can it guarantee me work? To which the obvious answer is no, of course it can't. Nobody can guarantee you work in the future. And anyone that promises you guaranteed money, guaranteed income, guaranteed work, guaranteed royalties, they're almost certainly lying to you. That word guarantee, if you're going to use it, it needs to be true. The only thing that want to use the word guarantee around is if something is guaranteed. So if there's a 30-day money back guarantee, as in at any point in the next 30 days, you can get your money back, and there's no way that can't happen if you want it. That's a guarantee. Can I guarantee you work, income, whatever it might be? No, and nobody can. So you've got to be really careful using that word as a copywriter. And also as somebody out there in the marketplace looking at different things, looking at, like the Financial Copywriting Bootcamp, nobody can offer you any guarantees. So you shouldn't expect them to, or you should say, well, what can you offer me? What is it reasonable for me to expect from this? That's a better question to ask.
I was thinking about this, and it got me thinking about what, like, slightly deeper into that question and what it actually reflects. And the idea that the fact is you can't guarantee anything in life. Like that sounds like kind of vague and meaningless and pointless, but it's kind of true. And you can't guarantee things. And especially the person who asked the question, and they asked it very nicely and genuinely. I don't mean it in any disrespectful manner, but they were also talking in terms of like return on investment to investing in something like this, going on a boot camp or whatever. And it's by the by whether you want to go on a boot camp. If you know what the value of it is, you probably would go on it, and it might be for you. It won't be for a lot of other copywriters. But it got me thinking about the idea of like guaranteeing this and being sure of what's going to happen is a very dangerous mindset. I'm going to slightly be indulgent in my example because it's something I spend a lot of time on, or it's certainly something that I've invested a lot of time on without any, with the least guarantee of like success. And that's me working on a novel. I've been working on this book for like 3 years. There is no guarantee that I will get any way further than printing it off on my computer. And it is more likely that it will not get any further than that. Like that is but I do it anyway. Why do I do it? Because I enjoy the process. I enjoy the process of following, of writing, of thinking, of reflecting on it, of learning things. And I learn so many things just by following the process. And that's what I understand. I go into that knowing that there is no guarantee at the end. What I would like to happen might not happen, but I will get out what is in the immediate moment. And so it started me thinking that question about like, oh, can you guarantee a job? I don't think when you learn to write copy, if you want to be a copywriter, if you want to get into a particular business, get into a particular agency or whatever, and you go, oh, can these things guarantee me? If I definitely do this, will I achieve that? I think it's like a wrong way to, I think if you go into anything thinking like that, I think it's dangerous. I think you need to be present of mind and go, right, where would I like to be? Where would be an ideal space? Define what success looks like down the line and then go, right, cool, well, that's there. I'll do these things in the very present moment to help me get there. And therefore, it makes you change your mindset and go, all right, well, actually, this would be a great experience. And I'm not talking just about coming on that boot camp with us kind of thing. I'm just talking about generally whether you went on a copywriting course or whether you went to a seminar or a thing, or whether you just chose to learn about copy. You've got to look at the immediacy things and what can you get from the process. And I think it's something in there. It kind of triggered me thinking there's no guarantees in life. And I was speaking to Steve Harrison. He's got a new book coming out, and he's like going, oh yeah, I'm going like promoting it and everything. He's like a legend in the copywriting world. He knows there's no guarantee that anyone's going to buy that book. He didn't produce the book because he was guaranteed that it was going to be a bestseller or anything. He produced because he was interested. He was fascinated by the subject. He was doing the work, and the process is what got that out of what that's where the value he got from that was. If it went on to be a bestseller, yeah, great news for him. It's a nice bauble to have at the end of it kind of thing. But I felt like when you talk about guaranteed in the terms of, can I guarantee this thing at the end? I think it's just dangerous to think like that. And I think a lot of people do, especially in the copywriting niche. They think, oh, if I do this, I'll get out of it.
The better way of thinking about it, I would say, is how can I increase my chances of whatever the outcome is? So, for instance, in financial copywriting, okay, largely now all copy will go through multiple levels of compliance and legal officers who are trying to make sure that you don't mislead your customer, which should be everybody's goal from the outset. You never want to deceive or mislead. So something like the word guarantee around anything other than, the terms of your subscription or whatever it might be, or I can guarantee you a warm welcome, and in the informal sense, you're not going to be able to use the word guarantee. It has legal connotations and it's not true. And most, even using the word is actually, it's probably the most dangerous word in advertising, because used in the wrong way, and it's kind of like, it makes you suspicious. It makes, as a consumer, you think, well, that can't be true. And so you kind of don't want to use it. If you say, how can I increase my chances of success? And to what extent will this increase my chances of success? How can I show that this will increase your chances of success? That's a better way of thinking about the claims that you want to make. So I just use an example that isn't finance and isn't copywriting, to avoid it just getting too sort of incestuous. Let's say we were selling a diet plan. We wouldn't want to say this I can guarantee you'll lose weight. I don't think, because we can't guarantee. You could say, if you do it, and if you follow the rules, and if you do this, and if you do that, I can guarantee you'll lose weight. But even then, all of those qualifiers create so much doubt and uncertainty that it effectively negates the use of the word guarantee altogether. We can't say that for sure. And a legal team, legal officers come along, and they're there to try and make sure that if they're good, they're trying to make sure that a reasonable person wouldn't be misled. How we define a reasonable person is up for debate. But they might say, well, what if somebody doesn't follow the plan? Or what if they follow the plan, but they also drink 10 pints of lager every night? And you might say reasonably, well, they haven't followed the plan, but that's the debate you'll get into. So it will water it down. So if you think about it from a different angle, you start to think, how can I show that this works without using that term? And generally the way of doing that is to just pare the language back and to show how things would actually work without relying on all of those fancy terms. So if I was talking to a copywriter, I might say, I can't guarantee you work, but I can tell you that if you write something I think is good, I can put it personally into the hands of 5 people who are looking for great copywriters, and I can give you their names. Maybe I couldn't put it into their hands. Maybe in this day and age, I would email it to them, but I could copy you in as I emailed it to them. And I can tell you these people are the people who are hiring copywriters. Now, if they like it, you've got a great chance of, all of those things are true, by the way. This is, I've gone back into sales mode, Glenn. But that doesn't guarantee you work, but it does massively increase your chances against the rest of the market. because it gives you an honest shot at achieving the outcome that you want. It says, if your copy's good enough, we'll put it in front of the people that matter. And if they like it, then you're in with a great chance. And I think in life, that's all most people want. They don't want a shortcut. They want a fair shot at getting the outcome that they want. So think about it like that. How can you show that this gives them a fair chance and increases those chances of success, rather than trying to offer a guarantee and then having to qualify down from there?
Sure. I'm going to put you on the spot, Nick. And it's an experiment. It's one that we do in our quest for being ultimately meta, but also ultimately transparent. I think a lot of copywriters out there, and we're doing ourselves, it's not just for this bootcamp thing that I'm thinking about, but when you put a cost on learning to become a copywriter, on whether it's with us, whether it's with, I don't know, Kevin Rogers or Pro Copywriters Network or Drayton Bird or whoever you want to name, whoever sells copywriting advice, a lot of copywriters, and I think I know this from speaking to people, I think it's a fair thing to say, a lot of copywriters, why would I pay money to learn about copywriting? Why would I invest? I'm struggling to get jobs as a copywriter, struggling to get paid. Why would I invest money to get in that advice? Why don't I just try and blag it and go and get jobs elsewhere? Kind of answering the question myself, but I want you to kind of riff on it. But what would be your comeback? Because they're coming at you. But no, what would be your thoughts on that? Because I think it's something that a lot of copywriters think, why would I give money to another copywriter, albeit more experienced, to help me get jobs? Why would I invest in that money when I haven't got anything to show for it yet? Anything tangible?
Well, the first way to answer that is don't have a crack. You could be the one person that finds. There are people out there who do that. It's not impossible. Who, have a bit of talent and learn a little bit from free tutorials online or whatever. I mean, we do all this for free. So there's plenty of free stuff out there, plenty of reputable books and all those things. You can learn the basics, and you might be that person that just finds those clients themselves and all that sort of stuff. So have a crack. Don't start by getting your credit card out. Definitely not. I think the most likely outcome if you do that is you'll realize you need some help and guidance. It might be securing clients. It might be the actual copy side. You might be great at getting clients, and maybe the copy itself needs a polish. The thing I would say is most copywriters learn under the tutelage of other great copywriters. They were mentored in some way. They got, I go on about this over and over. They got their copy review. They had their idea. They collaborated with other writers. They had more experienced people put shape on their ideas. And they also had, almost every great copywriter I know had this experience. They had just had a big red line through their copy. No, start again. No, start again. They had absolute, painful honesty to help them learn and to get them to where they needed to be. And I think the best copywriting advice out there, and we are certainly not the only people who do this. I obviously think we're the best, obviously. Otherwise, why would I do it? I wouldn't do something if I thought it was second best to someone else. But that doesn't mean to say that there aren't other people out there that are worth following. The best people are going to be really honest. They're going to tell you when it's not right. They're not just going to tell you, oh, yeah, this is great. Yeah, you're doing really well. A little bit of that maybe to help you build your confidence, but much better to be honest and say, this doesn't work, this does work. How can we do, how can we change this? That's how you learn to write copy. So the closer you can get to that, the better. The best option is you get a job somewhere where you're paid, and as well as getting paid, you get feedback from more experienced copywriters. That's the experience we had, right? We were so lucky. If you don't want to go down that route, you have to try and find those ways of improving elsewhere. So I think, but the most fundamental thing is have a crack. Definitely don't, have a crack at it yourself. There's there's value in that, even if it doesn't quite work out and you realize what you might need. Like, that's a valuable experience in itself.
Yeah, no, you make a good point. I always thinking about it in terms of you often these days, for some reason, a lot more people think you can just become a freelance copywriter from like, oh, today I'll be a freelance copywriter and do this thing, which is fine, and I'm sure you can. I've never been able to do that. I was employed for a decade and learned my trade through that.
You can do that in the same way that you are a novelist. I'm going to use your example, but like, you can decide to be a novelist. You can self-identify as a novelist and start writing a novel. However, you and most people, till that novel's published, you're not a novelist. So there's different levels of it. You can say you're a copywriter today, but until you're getting paid to write copy and paying your bills with it, then are you a copywriter or are you an aspiring copywriter? It's a slightly different.
Well, I describe myself as an aspiring novelist on the basis that I know that if I walked around going, oh yeah, I'm a novelist, well, I'm not, because I haven't had a novel published and I haven't done that. Now, I could self-publish it. Again, I've got no interest in that because I want to go through the system whereby I have feedback and I have editorial support and people other than me think that this has value and this can be used in some way and be enjoyed by the masses and my adoring public. Whether that will happen, we yet to see. But I guess it's the same. It does translate in the terms of if you're a copywriter, you can do all that yourself and think, but actually I in the same way with a novel where I want to check myself against those other people and be tutored and mentored and taken through that process. It's the same with copy. Like, if you're looking now, what I was going to say is that we spent a lot of time employed. Now, yes, we were lucky in the sense that you got paid for that period, but at the same time, you could argue that really we just invested our time. We didn't have the money to put up to invest in that, but we said, well, we can leverage our time and I'll take a net profit that my time is worth that or whatever kind of thing. But if you haven't got that, if you don't want that, if you don't want to spend time in a job, then you've got to look for other ways to learn, I guess. And that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to get in there and go, right, well, I'm going to spend some actual quality time. I guess it comes back to, it reminds me of dealing with objections in copy when it'd be like, the reason we're paying for it. And I always thought this was a bit of an empty argument, but I think as I've got older, I think it is probably actually genuine. The idea that, well, if you buy this, you're more likely to use it because you need to get value out of it. Whereas if you just go around looking at free stuff and what have you, there's nothing on you. You don't need to get anything back on it. So it's like, oh, I can't be asked to look at that now. But if you've paid for it, it makes you go, oh, right, I've got to do this now without laboring it, doing the novel stuff. I paid for an agent course because I wanted every week to have 2 hours to set aside to do that thing. And because I paid for it, I needed to do it. I needed to do the tasks and follow that through. So it's all about in your mindset of going, oh, actually, will I do it if I don't commit to that? I've tried all these other places. I've tried this, I've tried that. Will it work if I don't actually set some time? So I guess that's another way of coming over.
I think that's definitely true. And also you tend to get, I mean, I've had people who we, part of the academy that we run, who I've said, oh, I'll try and help you out a bit for free on the side if you want, friends or whatever. And a few of them have said, no, I want to pay you so that you have to do it and you have to do it well. But I don't want it to be a favor. So there is a bit of that. I wonder if just on the last point we should make is the sort of hierarchy of value in terms of the kind of copywriting advice you can get. So, well, there's just two categories, I'd say. One is way more valuable than the other. So the more entry level advice and things like that you can find is going to be one-way delivery. It's going to be a course where somebody talks to you. That can be valuable. You can learn really, really valuable stuff about the market. You shouldn't be paying thousands for it, in my opinion. But it's worth paying for. I mean, maybe you've bought a book and now you want to learn a bit more about how to get clients or how to write a cold email pitch or whatever. Okay, learn some stuff. The far more valuable kind of advice and coaching is going to be two-way. Now, this is going to cost you more, or often will cost you more, but it's going to be worth it because any situation where you write something, goes to the expert and they look at your specific copy and send it back to you. So the advice is personal and tailored to your work. That's going to be really, really valuable. So it's worth paying more for that than something that's one way. Again, depends on who's giving the advice and all those different things, but I would certainly think about it like that. There's a sort of hierarchy of value. That said, you will notice that at every level of what we do at The Fix, we offer two-way feedback. We review people's copy for free in The Fix. We do live calls every week for the Fix Accelerator, which is, £10 a month, and you can get as much copy as you like reviewed by us and by other writers in the community. Then we offer more tailored, one-on-one sessions, and even right up to the boot camp where it's, really intensive. So the value curve tends to map onto the amount of actual tailored feedback you'll get. It's all worthwhile, but that's how I think about it. That's how I would approach looking at learning about the markets. Now, there'll be other people out there that might think differently, but they're not here now, are they? I am, and I just gave my opinion.
We openly invite all other copywriting providers to give their opinion. No, it's not about us. And I'm more interested in tackling and thank you for exploring that, Nick. I just think these are the questions that I think often don't get asked. People don't hit them on the head and go, well, why would I do that? And they just think, oh, well, yeah, they're trying to make a fast book, or why? There are real reasons behind this as to why you get benefit from investing in yourself and investing in your own career. And I've got to say, I think the people who I see do it the most have got the most out of it, kind of thing. As you say, those who submit copy to us the most and take that on board, they go faster through the system, they achieve more, and they feel happier and more confident in life. So
to put a bow on the whole show, Glenn, they're not guaranteeing themselves success, but they are massively increasing their chances of success. They're putting themselves at the front of the queue when the door to success opens. So that's not a guarantee, but it's what we all want, isn't it? We want to increase our chances of success, and that's what they're doing.
And that's it. And Nick, after 90 episodes of The Fix, if you want tenuous links, back to the start, callbacks, I can guarantee you'll get them with The Fix. That's how it works.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
If you enjoy The Fix and want to get access to even more good stuff, join the Fix Accelerator today. Get access to special masterclasses from Nick and me, watch expert interviews with industry legends, join live copy feedback sessions every week, and get connected to our very own private copy network. Visit thefixaccelerator.com for more information.